Alright, y'all. Welcome to Hot Take Sports, Episode 3. How are you boys doing today? Brady?
Not too bad. How are you?
Not too shabby. Clayton?
Doing good. Happy that the Cavs are 3-0. Off to a decent start.
Cavs are looking good. Isaac?
I love it. And I'm doing well.
Alright. So, to start, this is take 2 on Episode 3, I guess. We had some technical difficulties in the editing process, first time around. But we'll kind of give you a recap of what we were going through there. For starters, Clayton, you want to talk about the Fight Night that we talked about in Episode 2?
I would, actually, and thank you for bringing up Fight Night, Matt. I really appreciate that. I would like to clarify that not only did I pick Jake Paul to win the Jake Paul versus Nate Robinson
The only
fight,
one of us to pick that fight to work.
I also correctly predicted how he would win and the round he would win. And yeah, that's about all I have to say about that first fight. For the Tyson Jones, I think that decision of a draw was probably made before the first bell even rang.
It was pretty determined. Oh yeah, that fight was for fun.
Yeah. It was good to see them both back out there. Good to see them both in shape. Nobody got hurt in that fight. So that was a positive.
Do you guys think it was worth the money?
Yeah, I'd say
I
it was worth the
believe
$50.
so.
Oh yeah.
The Snoop Dogg concert, though.
I was going to say, Snoop Dogg was
Top
definitely
thing
the best
of
part of
Snoop
the
Dogg
thing.
was the best thing all
His
night.
concert and his commentary was
His
legendary.
commentary is always great.
And the best part about that is now he's getting like his own fight series.
Is
He's
he?
gonna
Really?
commentate all of it.
That's
Yes.
beautiful.
It came out like a week or two after the fight.
That would be worth a subscription for.
Oh, yeah,
Absolutely.
all day.
That'd be awesome.
Have Wiz Khalifa with the pre-fight concerts as well.
I
Did we
mean,
get like 3 or 4 different concerts?
Yeah, there was
yeah.
pretty much one in between each fight.
There's a
There were
lot
4
of-
fights on the card.
Yeah,
A lot of young up and coming.
it was pretty good.
Wiz Khalifa and Snoop Dogg. I don't remember who the second one was.
I don't remember the guys in the middle.
It was pretty good.
There
Uh-huh.
was,
Last
there was
concert was the
nothing
best.
more fun. The money that we paid for that fight was worth just Clayton's reaction
Oh,
to
absolutely.
Jake Paul's knockout in their. Oh,
He
I was
went
pretty
nuts.
hyped after that.
He went absolutely nuts. I'm pretty sure he ran a mile after
He looked-
that.
Oh, he literally
looked like he
ran
had
across
a Red
the room.
Bull and was literally flying. He was so hyped.
Yes.
I was just happy because literally all 3 of you picked that Nate Robinson would win that fight, and Jake Paul actually knocked him out in the second round.
I could not have looked dumber. If you guys listen to Hot Take Sports Episode 2, I could not look any dumber with saying, pure athlete alone, Nate Robinson is going to win this fight. Because the strength it takes to be a short guy like that in the NBA, he will easily win. And just to get bullied.
Oh, I mean,
It was one-sided the whole
Isaac and I were
time.
with you too.
YouTuber.
Isaac and I were with you. We were all on the same page, other than Clayton.
Yeah.
We were all like, "Yeah, the real athlete's gonna win," and then that's
Well,
not what happened.
I had Nate
mean-
Robinson in a split decision just because of his athleticism. I thought he would just run around the rink pretty much.
Yeah.
And just get more punches, but he's like
His style was
Dead.
unorthodox, that's for sure.
I will say, though, in
Not
Nate
good.
Robinson's defense, I learned a couple days after that his camp didn't book him any sparring partners. So, like, that was the first time he'd gotten live into the ring.
That's horrible.
why
That was
would you do
stupid.
that? If you're actually gonna try to win, what is the purpose in that?
I have no idea. That's how you get better in boxing.
I would absolutely.
Well,
fire
obviously
that.
you can train, but you got to be ready for the live stuff. That's
Yeah.
completely different than doing
got-
pad work, getting on a heavy bag or speed bag or whatever you're using. It's 2 completely different worlds.
Yes.
And he looked confused. He looked
I
like
mean-
he didn't know what he was doing.
I mean, after
Completely
after he got so many head hits, I'd be confused too.
Yeah. The only way to actually learn how to fight is to get punched. I mean,
and he got knocked out cold because
Yeah.
he
because he didn't know how
spar.
to take it.
That
Yeah.
man woke up in a completely different country.
I mean, hey, he could have. He
Well,
might
it
have
looked
been.
like Juju after he got rocked.
Yeah. Can we talk about that for a second?
Von
That
Bell
by
absolutely
itself is one of
destroyed
my
him.
favorite moments of the NFL season.
Absolutely.
And then the Bengals tweet after that.
That's what I was gonna say.
That was
The Bengals team.
hilarious.
Von Bell.
Von
Yeah,
Bell.
Von Bell.
Ohio State
Von-
alumni.
Von Bell and knocks the ball out of the
Pittsburgh TikTok
TikTok
star. Pittsburgh
Pittsburgh's
TikTok
TikTok
star.
Internet
Absolutely
forever
crap
remains
on him.
undefeated.
Absolutely.
Forever.
Very true.
That also applies to all the Nate Robinson memes that came out less than 20 minutes after the end of that fight.
Oh, yeah.
Those are some primetime memes. Memes of the year, maybe.
Memes of the century, maybe.
Probably not the century, but I
I
mean,
mean,
there's a lot more time to have a meme of the century.
there's definitely could be one in those memes.
No,
though.
but there always is a fight for meme of the year. So Nate Robinson may take that one home in December.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
I think to me it was.
When does that happen? Like, do they do that like right before New Year's?
I don't know. It's just, I'm sure it's out right now.
Probably. We'll have
Discussions
to
about
find it.
Yeah.
Just start scrolling through Reddit. You'll find it eventually.
Fair enough.
So, other stuff we talked about in the first edition of episode 3 was quarterback replacements in the NFL. Was one of our big topics too. We won't get too detailed into that, but the most important thing was the number 1 pick, Trevor Lawrence. And now the number 1 pick's all shaken up because the Jets decided they could win some football games.
2 in a row.
It's just crazy. It's like we flipped into an alternate universe. We got a COVID vaccine, and now the Steelers have lost three in a row before today. Well, or they beat the Colts today, and then the Jets have won 2 in a row because they beat the Browns today.
Yeah, Adam
And
Gase
the
thinks he can keep his
Browns
job.
wide Receivers.
I'm going to say...
To a certain extent, yeah.
That destroyed
Baker
the
had
Browns.
nobody to throw the ball to, but I think the bigger issue was our offensive line. I just felt like he was facing a lot more pressure than if he would have had his normal offensive line.
The Jets knew what they were doing. Well, you got to think. The Jets lost a game this season because they rushed, 9 on a Hail Mary play?
Yeah, they blitzed right
They
at the
were
end of the game.
fired
They were
the next
coming for it
day.
all. And, I mean, that's high risk, high reward. So be it. They lost the game. No regrets. And they saw the exact same chance today. They saw a weakened offensive line that they could just come in, put pressure on a quarterback who really hasn't done all that well under pressure. I think the announcer was talking about it. He was throwing like 70% completion rate with no pressure and like 35% completion rate under pressure.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean...
But at the same time, as frustrating as not having wide receivers or 2 of our offensive line starters, there's no excuse for the way we played. I thought that we didn't play with a whole lot of passion. We didn't play with a whole lot of heart.
No, they looked like they were like, oh, well, we already have 10 wins. We're already really close to the playoffs. We're fine.
We're going to walk in and we're going to beat
the
the Jets.
They only have 1 win. They're probably tanking for Trevor Lawrence anyways.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of my... As much as I don't like it as a Browns fan, this exhibits one of the best things about sports, in my opinion, and that's any team can beat any team on any day.
Very true.
100%. Even if the Jets aren't that good, they're still in the NFL.
Yeah, they're still
At the end of the day, they're still playing football at the highest possible level.
That's like anybody who's like, oh, this Clemson team could beat the New York Jets right now.
No,
Like,
they could
There's
not.
not a college team out there that can beat any team in the NFL from any time in history.
No.
No way.
Even that Lions team from when we were little kids could still destroy any team from college history.
Unless they
2016
had a-
Browns, they'd beat Clemson.
Exactly.
Oh, for sure.
Like, they're making millions of dollars for a reason. Like, they got there for a reason.
Even if a team had like a superstar, like could just destroy anyone in the NFL, I don't think they still could win.
Football's not a game where you can win on one guy.
No,
Nah, one guy can't
It's
flip the
no.
switch in
It's an
football.
11
So
man.
a lot of teams have learned that the hard way.
but still,
There are some teams that
still
fall
couldn't
apart
do it.
without one player.
Do you want to talk about the Patriots with talking about losing one player and how it can affect an entire season, Brady?
Don't go too far. It's not really one player. They lost their quarterback, but COVID took out half their team. So, I mean...
The quarterback, at the end of the day, though, is the most important position on the football field.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. They didn't replace him well.
I think there's a
I
lot
love
of
the idea of taking a shot on Cam Newton, but, I mean, it just didn't work out.
I think there's a lot of teams that are going to have quarterback changes after this year. I think Jimmy G is done. I think Carson Wentz is done.
if you are a fan of the NFL, like a big fan of the NFL, its free agency coming up this year is going to be just as fun as the NBA's free agency coming up this year.
Absolutely.
For sure.
It's going to shake up the league a lot, and I'm excited to watch them both.
I think Carson Wentz and Jimmy G will both potentially find their way released because Carson Wentz already told the Eagles if they won't play him, then they're going to have to trade him or release him. And Jalen Hurts has looked good. Jalen Hurts, I think, surprised a lot of people.
Yeah, he's thrown for like
He's played
700
very
yards
well in
last
the
two games.
few games that he's played so far this season.
Well, he's giving him a spark.
And I
Yeah,
think
for sure.
I
That's
think-
exactly what Philly needed.
I think Andy Dalton has proven too that he can still play quarterback.
Oh yeah.
I mean, maybe
I
like a
don't
1
I
year.
call cap. I don't like that. I think Andy Dalton has played 2 good games this entire season. I don't think he's proven anything to me.
Okay, but he can still lead the Cowboys out of the basement and into the playoffs.
Yeah, but
Maybe
he
on the
could've-
stairs of the basement.
he
They're not
could've-
climbing out of that basement anytime soon, Brady.
He could
I
have.
mean, they were one game above bottom of that division. Like I understand it's a bad division,
That's the worst division. in
but you
football,
still have to be a
actually.
fairly decent quarterback to win games.
We'll talk.
And that's what they're struggling to do without
But
Dak Prescott.
there are plenty of games earlier in the season that he threw for 120 yards, and they were games that he should have won.
You also have to remember Dallas has used 4 quarterbacks this year.
Yeah, because they didn't trust Andy Dalton to win games.
Andy
And
Dalton
because
also
of
got
that
a concussion.
And
But he
COVID.
still played 3 games before that.
I just think he looks better now than he did when he first came into the
He looked more confident, yeah.
Yeah.
He definitely looks better than Garrett Gilbert and Mendinucci so far. But I think Jalen Hurts has
I've
came in
never
well.
won football pads in my life, and I could look as good as the 2 of them.
I mean, yeah.
That totally goes against the entire argument we just had
I was
about...
I'm
just
aware of
thinking
that.
that same thing. Because as much as I would like to say that, it's just quite simply not
I'm gonna
true.
say
It's-
we all know this. No,
While we were talking about Dallas a little bit, I think if they had Dak Prescott, they would run away with
well,
the
I mean, if they
division.
had Dak Prescott, they're easily like a 10-win team at least.
Yeah.
If they have Dak Prescott, a guy like CeeDee Lamb could be Rookie of the Year.
I was gonna say if they have
Yeah,
Dak
Man,
Prescott and a
he was
completely healthy
heaving
Ezekiel
up
Elliott.
before- yeah, well,
Yeah. I think
Zeke,
Prescott
Zeke-
could have won MVP
Zeke,
this year
in my
if he
opinion-
stayed healthy.
he had the chance. As long as they're winning games and they're not just empty stats, yeah.
Yeah.
Dak was in an MVP conversation.
Oh yeah.
in my opinion, Zeke is starting. He's not there yet, but he is starting to become on the verge of being a bust. Here's why. Hear me out here.
I can see
They've
that.
really needed him to step up since
I need
Dak
him.
went down. Ezekiel Elliott, considered by many to be a top 5 running back in the NFL
Yeah,
preseason.
He should have become the Derrick Henry of their team.
Correct.
Yes.
He has not stepped up.
No.
He has not stepped up and
Mm-mm.
filled that gap that
He
Dak
fell
Prescott left in their
He fell
offense.
into the shadows, if anything. He
Yeah.
was
I was gonna
fumbling the
say.
ball.
Yeah.
He wasn't making the catches that he needed to. Wasn't making plays.
Maybe it's just this. Maybe it's just this season, but he has looked bad this year, though.
Okay, Zeke has definitely not stepped up though, like the likes of Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara, and Derrick Henry. They've all stepped
Nick
up.
Chubb, Kareem
Well, I
Hunt.
mean, yeah, Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt have stepped up, but I mean, Baker Mayfield. I think has Baker Mayfield missed any games at all this year?
No. Baker has yet to miss
I
a
don't
game.
think Tannehill's missed
No.
any games either. But I mean, don't get me wrong, Tannehill definitely is still a pro. Like he definitely should have been in the Pro Bowl this year over Deshaun Watson.
He was snubbed,
But
for sure.
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
with
I didn't-
but with
I
that
didn't
with
like
Derrick
Deshaun Watson
Henry,
making it.
that team is so dynamic with Derrick Henry, and I mean, you have other running backs like Kamara, 6 TDs the other night, and he stepped up when Breeze was out. I mean, don't get me wrong, Taysom Hill played well, but without Kamara, they're probably going to lose most of the games Drew Brees was out
Yes.
for. Dalvin Cook, I mean, we all know Kirk Cousins isn't going to play very well. So Dalvin Cook had to step up and help carry the Vikings to wins. Undrafted rookie James Robinson. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Jaguars still have a win. But James Robinson has also rushed for over 1,000 yards.
And he's looked really good against teams.
I mean, yeah, Zeke though has just not stepped up like some of the other guys.
Another example I think of when I think of guys that have stepped up really is Kareem Hunt.
Oh,
Because when Nick Chubb was out with his MCL sprain, he stepped in and our running game was still good.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
won games,
Yeah,
he stepped
actually-
up.
He stepped in. I'm really sorry that just ding right into my microphone. That's fun. All right, just turn that off.
And we won games. He allowed us to stay potent on the rushing attack and win
Kareem
games.
Hunt was a horrible pickup for the Browns. I thought he was just going to make their locker room worse. I thought he was just going to, blow up their run attack, just steal plays from Nick Chubb that should have all been his. I was dead wrong. Kareem Hunt's been amazing. They've been a great duo. They share the ball really well. They want to give each other touchdowns. They want to give each other the attempts. They know what their jobs are. They've looked really good together.
Now, I have a question. Just, based off of, Kareem Hunt.
Sure.
Now, obviously, he was in legal trouble for the incident with that woman. But do you think that changed his career for the better?
Yes, I firmly believe that. To be
Where did
honest.
he play for before?
He was with Kansas City.
He was insane as a rookie in Kansas City. He fumbled his first ever NFL carry that I don't think he fumbled the rest of the year.
No. But
Kareem Hunt was insane.
Going back
as a
on
rookie.
Matt, with Kareem Hunt, they step up on each other. Nick Chubb had a hurdle, and then Kareem Hunt did it in the red zone to score. They one up each other all the time.
I definitely think they feed into each
It's a
other.
healthy competition for their
Yes.
spots.
That's definitely something huge for both of them. Because, before this year, Nick Chubb, obviously he was an above average running back. But before this year, Nick Chubb was, on the brink, but this year busted out completely. And it's because he knows Kareem Hunt can take his job at any given moment.
Brady, I'm going to take you back on that. Nick Chubb was good last year, too.
Well, I know, but,
But
he was not nearly as good as this year.
I could debate that, but I see where you're getting at, though.
The point being is he is getting better.
Yes.
He's always getting better, which is good. And I personally am not a big fan of running back by committee. I've never really cared for it.
Oh, same.
But the Browns have done a good job with it, and I cannot argue with 10 wins. It's gotten them to 10 wins. Us as Cleveland fans, we've suffered through 0-16, continuous seasons of 4 wins or less.
Yeah.
So getting 10 wins and even being in the playoff conversation even at this point in the season is dramatic improvement from 5 years ago as a Cleveland Browns fan.
I definitely think the Browns have done a much better job of handling and executing running back by committee than the likes of New England, Buffalo, and Kansas City.
I agree with
Absolutely.
They've also had way better running backs to do that.
that. Yeah, that's true.
That's
I was
fair.
thinking about this the other day. Kareem Hunt really could probably start on, I'd say, at least over half of the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
Kareem Hunt could probably start
Probably
anywhere
at
that
least-
doesn't already have
probably
a perimeter
22.
running back.
I would say 20. That's a good number.
Yeah. And the Browns signed them for, I believe, 3 more years.
I think that might have been what it was.
Yeah.
They definitely extended him. I can tell you that much. But
Yeah, I
that's
know
kinda
they
given.
extended him. And Nick Chubb is going to get a well-paid salary this off-season.
But if
He should get a raise and an extension.
Yeah.
If I'm the Browns, I'm getting OBJ out and giving even more money to my running game.
That's where I was going to go next because
OBJ
What
needs
they-
out of Cleveland.
Cleveland needs out of
OBJ,
OBJ.
yeah.
Baker plays a lot better without him because
Yeah,
he's
he-
not.
Clayton, what was that
forcing
statistic
the
you told
ball.
me earlier?
I'm hesitant on this topic. I truly am. Because, like I said, I don't remember where I saw this. I don't remember what the exact numbers were. But I was scrolling through Instagram the other day, and statistically, Baker Mayfield has been better when OBJ is off the field. Why? I think it's because he doesn't feel obligated to throw him the ball. He doesn't feel obligated to have to give him touches. Do I think we should get rid of OBJ? That, I don't know. I really don't know. There are positives to it. We could trade him for potential... What I think we should do, if we are going to try and move him, is trade him for either a first-round pick, try and get a pick, or try and get a solid middle linebacker. Our linebackers have been... they've been iffy the entire season. As we saw with this weekend even, we had 2 of our starting linebackers out. So,
Even just to get more depth.
correct.
I thought the Browns were one of the deeper teams, but
Not on defense.
No,
today that showed that they are not.
Our
BJ
defense-
Goodson was a big loss, though. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie to you.
BJ
He's played well all year for the Browns.
BJ Goodson has been playing very well for us. And him and Taki is a good middle linebacker core for sure.
I also would not mind if the Browns tried to trade for a good either corner or safety. I understand that we've been struggling with some injuries. Grant Delpit tore his ACL before the season started.
That was a
Greedy
big
Williams has been on and off.
Greedy Williams has been very underwhelming.
Greedy has been on the IR all year with a shoulder, I
But I
believe.
mean, even when Greedy plays, he was very underrated. He was supposed to be a first round pick, and they got him like a second or third.
Well,
rounder.
he's
He was
been
our second
injured,
round pick.
though. He's been injured most of the time.
Yeah, I know, but even when he is on the field, I haven't seen anything good out of him.
I haven't seen a big enough sample size with him yet.
I'm with you there, Clay. I do think as good as the Browns secondary can be at times, I do think they need to add. I mean, they added. I want to say his first name was Ronnie. They added Harrison from
Ronnie
Jaguars.
Harrison.
Yeah, unlike he had played really well, but I mean he played well. He played well last year. I thought he was playing well this year, but I mean he got hurt when they played the Jaguars actually.
Yeah, with a shoulder, I believe.
What the Browns secondary could be, I don't think is necessarily worth what it is, if that makes any sort of sense.
Yeah.
We could be good. We could have one of the better secondaries in the league, a top half secondary. Could it happen? I don't know. We just have too many injuries and too many unsolved questions to the point of where I would not be frustrated if we were to move OBJ, which, again,
We should.
front office decision. I don't know. I really don't have an opinion. There's positives and negatives to both. If we were to move him, I think we would absolutely need either A, a first-round pick, or B, a secondary player, or a linebacker
No,
to help
see.
anchor our defense.
If I'm the Browns, I want to try to shop OBJ to a team that's like very wide receiver needy, or
Right.
maybe like a team that has like a lower level pick, or like lower. I mean closer to single digits. Like maybe the Eagles. They got like the 7th pick.
I don't know, maybe like, I don't know, Patriots? Maybe?
Yeah,
I
maybe the
was
New
about-
England Patriots.
I
You know,
was
I hear
about
they're
to
pretty
say-
good
No,
nowadays.
it's not that I don't. It's not that I
Patriots.
don't want OBJ on the Patriots. Believe me, we need wide receivers. But
You need a quarterback that'll throw your receiver.
well, I mean
Yeah,
that
that
too. You know, Cam Newton kind of like lead their team in rushing touchdowns. But like I think the Patriots pick is like too high for what the Browns could go for to take like a nice young like edge rusher or linebacker. Because that's really what they need. They need not Olivier Vernon.
Olivier Vernon will definitely. They won't have him next year.
He needs to walk, and the Browns need to try to trade for a pick. Absolutely, like they just need to try to trade for an upper level pick. If they can get like up inside the top 10, and they can just hope and pray that Micah Parsons falls right into their laps, that would be huge for the Cleveland Browns.
With the Browns, Vernon will leave. We need to sign the Viking safety because he's a pretty good safety.
Are you talking Harrison Smith?
I believe so. Let me look.
I can't think who the free safety is right now.
I thought
I mean,
it was,
you did just like bring in Sendeo from the Vikings. But I'll see how that's working out.
I don't like Sendeo at all.
I mean, I don't think
He's
anyone
just
likes Sendeo.
older. Like I said, it's
he's
just
been
one of the
playing better though.
it's just one of the holes that we've had to fill. You know, like I
Yeah.
said, Grant Delpit tore his ACL before the season starts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he would have been starting for sure.
Yeah, oh yeah, he probably would have been our starting safety.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, I definitely think Delpit and Ronnie Harrison would have been your safety tandem.
Yeah.
And probably Denzel and Grady Williams.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna switch gears just a little bit
Hold
here.
on. Before you switch.
All right.
Because that's not at all where I thought this conversation was going to go to.
Oh,
It's still with the NFL though. Is your topic still with the NFL?
Mine's still with the Browns.
All right.
I'm
Okay.
tracking way back. I
Go
was
ahead.
still on the Browns offense.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead.
okay.
I'll listen.
When I said I was bringing up OBJ, I was still going on the friendly competition thing that Isaac brought up with Hunt and Chubb. I've never thought about it this way before, but that's really what OBJ and Landry were in there for.
And they're
That's
friends
just to
off the
compete
field
with
too.
each other
Yeah.
to both have really good games and to make themselves a top wide receiver duo in the NFL, and they failed to do it.
Except part
Right.
of the problem was
They
is having
couldn't feed off
OBJ
each other
there.
to get there.
yeah.
Landry didn't. I don't think Landry had a receiving touchdown until they played the Jaguars.
No.
So part of
he
the
didn't.
problem is Baker feels obligated to throw to OBJ.
Exactly.
Like I said.
That's why.
So
they,
therefore everything goes to OBJ. So no looks to Hooper, no looks to Harrison Bryant, no looks to Higgins, no looks to Landry.
Peoples-Jones.
Oh yeah, people.
He has been let's talk about Donovan Peoples-Jones just for a second. He has been a very, very pleasant surprise.
I don't like him.
Really?
No, he's from Michigan. That's
Oh.
right.
I mean,
despite being from Michigan, like I said, he's been a very, very pleasant surprise. He can return punts, he's good at it, and he can catch the ball.
Yep.
You know, at the end of the day, obviously, most NFL wide receivers can catch the ball.
Hey, shift.
I mean,
He's fast. I've enjoyed watching him play so far, and I can't wait to see what he'll do for us in the future.
with Peoples-Jones, by getting rid of Odell, I think Peoples-Jones could develop into like Odell.
Well, he would for sure be getting more looks.
I mean, with Peoples-Jones, he's been getting more and more catches through the season because Baker's looking at him more, and he's getting really reliable.
Well, he's gaining confidence in himself too.
Yeah,
Which is huge for rookies. Huge.
very true. I think his biggest confidence booster was the Tennessee game that he just blew by the guy with
Actually,
that double move.
I'm going to disagree with you, Isaac.
Okay,
I think his biggest confidence booster was the end of the Cincinnati Bengals game.
that also is a
That,
very good
in my
statement.
opinion, he caught the game-winning touchdown.
Yeah.
You know, should the Browns have been in that position? No. No, they
No.
weren't playing well. But at the end of the day, he came in, made the play he needed to play. We win
But
the
they
game.
pulled out a win, which is not
Yeah.
a normal Browns thing.
Right.
That's what showed that it was like, okay, maybe we really are a playoff team. When you can fight for a win at the end of the day. Whether you played good or you played bad, you fight till the end, and you pull out the win however you have to do it.
See,
Yeah.
my thing there is, like, I understand that they didn't have, like, most of the receiving core, but...
Because they were
But
not
today's
hot
also against the Jets, like, I mean, obviously, again, they had no receiving core. But, I mean, a true playoff team that can handle through anything would have still won. So I'm still not 100% sure that, like, on the Browns playoffs, like, I mean... I think that at least this year, if they make the playoffs, they're probably going to be a first-round exit. But next year, 2 years from now, I think they could very well make a deep run the next year or two.
They have to make a statement next week.
Yes, against
That's
Steelers.
that's all there is to it.
Yes.
Even
Not
if
only
we...
to make the playoffs, but they have to make a statement to say, hey, we're still a good team. We can still compete with anyone.
They're in the same spot the Rams are. And the Rams looked like garbage today. The Rams and Browns both got beat by the Jets, and they have to make statements so they can show people, hey, just because we lost to the Jets doesn't mean we're actually bad.
You know who's a team who can't pull out wins?
Who would that be?
The Patriots.
That is also
I
big
was
fat
really,
man,
really
too.
hoping you'd say the Atlanta Falcons, but it's
Okay,
fine.
well that too, but I just
Yeah.
wanted to make fun of you.
Oh,
I have a
you-
hot take
you-
for you,
that.
Brady, actually.
I'm
Please.
very interesting.
So,
Okay.
obviously, the Jaguars clinched the number 1 overall pick today. They're going to take Trevor Lawrence. That's a slam dunk
Well,
number
yeah.
1 pick. Everybody knows it. They're going to keep Mike Glennon, cut Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew somehow ends up on the Patriots, and the Patriots get rid of Cam. What do you think? Do you think Gardner Minshew could be the guy? We'll start there.
I don't. I really don't.
What? Why? Why?
I don't think Gardner Minshew is I don't think he's a good fit for the offense. I don't.
Why? Why?
I mean, just like looking at the way Gardner Minshew plays, like he's a completion guy. He's gonna need receivers. We don't have those.
Well, you could trade for OBJ. I mean, we'll take some
Yeah.
of the guys off your defense.
I mean, if you have,
Yeah.
I mean, seeing like the Patriots moves over the last 10 years, I think the highest pick value that we have traded, period, was a second round pick for Mohamed Sanu, and he's not even on the team anymore.
You said he's a completion guy, but don't you have the number 1 completion guy receiver in the NFL?
Julian Edelman.
Julian
Julian
Edelman.
When he's
Edelman.
actually on the field, when he's not suspended or injured, he's been injured most of the season.
Okay, so yeah, so is Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Oh, I
That's
mean,
still-
fair enough, but
I was
Christian
gonna say.
McCaffrey's Christian McCaffrey.
Well,
Well,
Julian Edelman used to be one of the top receivers.
He
in the
won
league.
Yeah,
Super Bowl
used to be
MVP a
secure.
couple years ago, bro.
but while we're talking about the Patriots, though, my quarterback think they should get is Trubisky.
I don't like Trubisky either.
Well, who do you think? Let's backtrack a little bit then. Who?
Isaac also thinks Sam Darnold's a really good quarterback. So
I mean,
Probably thinks Josh
That's
Rosen's
about
going to
all.
win an MVP
That's about all
too.
that needs to be said about that. Moving on.
yeah.
I mean,
Who do you think would be the fit? Who's the guy?
Trevor Lawrence, straight all the way.
Good
up.
luck with that.
I'm not
luck.
gonna lie. I think Garoppolo and Wentz are probably the two of the better fits.
That's
Well,
interesting.
you
I think
have,
Garoppolo's comeback player of the year next year.
well, I mean,
As many
really?
injuries as
That's
he's
interesting.
had,
I think it'll be Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, I mean,
In
I
my
think it
mind.
could be. But
It'll be either
like,
Christian McCaffrey or Nick Bosa.
see, the reason I think
I like
Garoppolo
Bosa.
will.
I think Christian McCaffrey played a little bit too much this year for them to give that to him.
Three
I would
games?
accept that. Yeah, he's missed some time with various injuries.
Well,
13
talking
weeks.
about-
None of his were like
But
huge things. They were all just like minor tic-tac injuries that he needed to get healthy from.
Yeah.
But see, I think Garoppolo, like, very well could end up back in New England. Solely because originally when he was still in New England, before they traded him to the 49ers, Bill Belichick wanted Garoppolo, not Brady. The only reason Brady stayed is because Robert Kraft was literally going to veto anything that involved Tom Brady. So now,
Why would you not do that?
Well,
I mean, I don't blame the guy.
well, I mean, yeah, but Bill was like, Tom's getting old, you need to get rid of him now while he has value. And Robert Kraft said no. But
I mean, it
now,
still has a ton of value.
but now,
moving on.
well, I mean, yeah, but now, like, Tom Brady's gone. So now, if you bring back Jimmy Garoppolo, everyone wins. But, like, even when Tom was suspended, I think Garoppolo still went, like, I think he went 2-1 before he got hurt himself.
I was
But I
gonna
mean,
say, does everyone win? Jimmy G's struggled with injuries. That's been
Yes.
apparent throughout his tenure in San Francisco.
I mean, yeah, but I'm not sure how good San Francisco's our O-line is. I mean, I'm not even sure how good our O-line is, because our
wow.
O-line...
Can you even name all your starters on your O line?
Let's see here. Marcus Cannon when he's actually healthy. Shaq Mason, Joe Tooney, David Andrews, and Isaiah Wynn when he's actually healthy. But Michael Onwenu started a lot as a rookie, and Jermaine something. It's very hard. It starts with an E. Don't worry.
So who are your starting linemen, Clayton?
Jedrick Wills is the left tackle. Joel Bettino is the left guard. J.C. Treader is the center. Wyatt Teller is the right guard, and Jack Conklin is the right tackle.
Should I be concerned that I can also name his entire starting line?
No, because
Except for maybe
That's the
Wyatt Teller.
secondary team.
Yeah.
Except for
yeah.
I don't even know if I have like a specific.
You want to hear me name mine?
You don't have one.
I was gonna say cricket
Done.
noise. Cricket noise.
Yeah.
Nailed it. Move
No.
along.
No, I still think Garoppolo's the fit, but I'm also very interested to see what happens with Carson Wentz this offseason. I really am.
My thoughts on Carson Wentz are, the Eagles did not win the Super Bowl with Carson Wentz. They won the Super Bowl with Nick Foles.
Who's now a backup to a quarterback who can't even throw a touch.
I saw something out today. The Bears might re-sign Trubisky if they make the playoffs.
Really?
They kicked butt today.
They
Who
look
said?
good today.
The Bears.
Well, granted, they
scored.
played Jacksonville.
Well,
But
I mean, yeah,
they still
but
put up 40-plus points in a football
But-
game. Anytime
Yeah.
you do
like
that,
the
it's
Bears
good.
QB job very well could not even be open. If they make the playoffs, they're probably going to re-sign Trubisky.
Absolutely. Well, David Montgomery finally turned it on for the second half of the season.
I mean, yeah,
He's
but
got 80 yards in his last 5 games or something like that.
see, here's my thing with Trubisky though. I think if the Bears wouldn't have taken him number 2 overall, Mr. Trubisky would not get as much hate as he does. Like, if he would have been like a mid to late first rounder, no one would really talk about it. But since he was number 2 overall in the same draft as Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes, he gets a lot more hate than he probably should.
well, yeah, it's the same reason why Sam Darnold, I would say, gets a little bit more
Sam
hate.
Darnold and Josh Rosen, yeah.
Correct, because they were in the draft with
Baker,
Lamar Jackson,
Mayfield, Lamar
Josh
Jackson,
Allen.
and Josh Allen.
After he came back from his 2-week break, he was out for the Vikings game, and then they had a bye week. He's averaging over 100 yards in his last 5.
Oh yeah, David Montgomery's been
And has
gross.
scored a touchdown in all but one of them.
Yeah, I
And
think
that
Blake
game,
has
he had
been
a
fantasy.
receiving touchdown, so he has scored at least one touchdown in all of them.
Talking about Trubisky, though, he's good off the play action. I mean, that's where he is strong at. So if the Bears could get a good running game like they have been, Trubisky will be good. Because his rookie year, they did a lot of play action for him, and he looked good.
See, I think another key thing to the Bears though is keeping Allen Robinson healthy and finding a solid secondary receiver. I don't know who else is going to be in free agency, but they need more than just Allen Robinson.
You need more
out there
than
catching
one
passes.
dangerous target at the end of the day.
I also believe the Bears should draft a backup running back this year.
No, they don't need a
No,
backup
they
running
don't
back.
need a backup
They
running back.
technically still have Tariq Cohen on the roster when he's actually not injured. But
True.
that's the problem. Tariq Cohen's always injured.
Yeah.
Because that's how the Bears have been. That's how they were when they had Jordan Howard and Tariq Cohen. They have a power back and they have a receiving back. Part of the reason David Montgomery's gotten so much game action recently is because Cohen's hurt. Otherwise, Tariq Cohen and David Montgomery would be splitting snaps.
Yeah, and Trubisky would be playing
Obviously,
a lot better.
they shouldn't be because he's getting over 100 yards a game.
I mean, David Montgomery's absolutely capitalized on his opportunity. But I honestly think the Bears are in a much better spot than people give them credit for. Because somehow, I don't think they've had a first round pick in the last 2 drafts. But they've still managed to build at least a playoff caliber defense. And if Trubisky finds his college form that made him a number 2 overall pick and the most hyped quarterback prospect in that draft, then the Bears will be set. They just need to add one more receiver and have not 9 tight ends like they did at the start of the year.
The Bears are in a very good position now. I think Nick Foles gets traded again now to somewhere. I don't know where.
I mean,
somewhere.
He still has $44 million left on his contract, so I'm not entirely sure who's going to take him. But
I don't know who would take him either, but I think he gets traded again.
As long as it's not New England, I don't even care where Nick Foles goes.
Watch him go to a New England now.
I sure hope not. That. I want Jimmy G. Granted, I also wanted Jameis Winston, and that didn't happen either.
I would say, honestly, in my opinion, Jameis Winston is more the answer in New England than Jimmy G.
Oh, I still want Jameis Winston, but I mean, I'll take whatever I can get. So.
Jameis Winston's going to throw you touchdowns.
But he's also going to throw you picks.
Field a lot, but
yeah, that's true.
He'll still throw you touchdowns. Your quarterback doesn't do that now, so.
I think that's the one thing I haven't liked about Cam Newton is he doesn't throw the ball as much. Don't get me wrong, I've always liked Cam Newton as a player, and now I like him more, obviously. But I mean, he just kind of runs a lot. I mean, he's not necessarily the one choosing to run, but that's still what they do. It's kind of annoying after a while.
He definitely chooses to run.
Well, I mean, yeah, but when they just go, hey, the QB draw, and he just runs anyway.
Everyone, in my opinion, was trying to hype up Cam Newton before the season. Hey, he's going to rebound. He's going to come out and he's going to be his MVP self.
I was on that train. I thought he was going to come back and be comeback player of the year.
Me too.
I was never on that train.
Well, I mean,
yeah, that's true.
But I mean, I'm not going to lie. I think regardless of the fact that the Patriots are 6-8 and probably going to finish out the year 6-10, they still really realistically did not lose the Cam Newton deal because they technically only signed him for $1 million.
And for $7 million 1 year.
Okay, it was $7 million with incentives. It was $1 million, and if with all the incentives, it would have got up to $7 million.
So $1 million guaranteed.
Yeah, it was an insanely cheap deal. They didn't have very much cap space, but they still managed to sign Cam Newton. But I was mind blown when they did it. Cause I thought they had no money, and then they did it anyway. So I mean, they realistically didn't lose that deal.
We thought the Lakers had no money too, and look what they did.
Yeah,
I mean
that's true.
That's fair.
Switching gears a little bit. Does anybody have anything else they want to talk about in the NFL before we go?
I think we're pretty much sealed up on that conversation.
At least for now.
Moving on to the NBA then. The John Wall, Russell Westbrook trade. We will start there.
I talked about this in episode 2. I remember this.
Anybody have thoughts, opinions?
I'll start it off. I think the Washington Wizards won that trade. Just because Westbrook can put up a triple-double every night, and you can get his scoring, and plus you have Bradley Beal to help it.
I'm going to come back to that.
72-game season, and that's a lot of empty stats for a 20-win team.
That is true.
I'm going to combat you. I think the Rockets won solely because they got a first-round pick.
The Rockets need to reset. They
Completely.
win because they got a first-round pick. They won the Rocco deal because they got picks. That's all there is to it.
The Rockets just need to take a page out of the Thunder's book and trade literally everyone.
It's the most lateral point guard deal you could possibly do in the league.
I mean,
it'll be fun to see Russell Westbrook somewhere else.
Oh, absolutely. I agree.
And it'll be kind of odd to see him, this is going to sound weird, but not wearing number 0. He's number 4 now.
And plus he's in the East, not the West this time.
That's very true.
That won't make too much of a difference, I don't think. He's still gonna be the same
not
point
on
guard.
A championship contender team. No.
Right. The Wizards, despite having arguably 2 all-star guards in their backcourt, will not.
I think it would be interesting though if the Wizards try to add a piece though to build a big 3 with Beal and Westbrook though. Maybe. Whether it be a forward or a center. I mean, I don't think Thomas Bryant's that bad.
So the man dunked his own
Thomas
Wow, I
Bryant
can
is a
talk.
great backup center.
The man dunked the ball in his own basket last night.
Yeah, that's
Hey,
about
man,
as good
that
as
happens
his
sometimes.
defense normally is.
I mean, I know they at least need like a third. I mean, they have Rui Hachimura, so I mean, there's a start, but he's not a big 3 caliber player.
No,
At least not
nowhere
yet.
Not
near
nowhere
yet.
close. No.
Okay, so we talked about the Wizards. They're going to be bottom of the East. Maybe not the worst team in the East because
No.
there's like the Pistons.
I think they could be borderline 8.
I think they're a playoff contender already.
No.
I think they could. They might be able to sneak their way. It just kind of depends on how the mid section of the East. Because I mean, obviously you have Bucks, Sixers, Celtics, Pacers.
The top 6 of the East is already set.
I mean,
not in
yeah.
any particular order.
But
you
like
said,
that's
Bucks,
like
Sixers, Celtics.
7, 8,
The
9.
Nets have been disgusting.
Oh,
in
yeah,
their
the
first few
Nets are
games,
fairly
so they're
nice.
automatically up there. But then those bottom
6,
few
7,
ones,
8, and 9.
The
Just right there.
you think the Wizards are in there? I don't. Maybe I don't know.
I mean, I guess the Magic are up there, probably up there
The
too.
Magic are always in the 8 seed conversation. The Pacers are always in the 8 seed conversation. The Hornets if they click. The Cavs if they click.
I
believe
think
I
the
talked about
Cavs are
this
another team that
in-
could
I
sneak in.
episode
don't
one.
have the Pistons and Knicks in there.
I mean, yeah, I've tested the Knicks down towards the bottom.
Oh,
we forgot about Miami.
The Heat. I was gonna say there's
Yeah.
another team in Florida.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, the Heat
Yeah,
are obviously
I was with you there.
they're in that top 6 probably. So I don't know. It's so weird because the East and West are complete dogfights all the way through, but the West is on such a higher scale. Than the
Oh,
East.
absolutely.
For sure.
But like everyone went
Yeah.
from like, oh yeah, the East is a cakewalk. So now all of a sudden you have Miami, Brooklyn.
It's not a cakewalk, but
No.
there's no like the top dogs.
I was
Oh,
gonna say,
absolutely.
all of the top dog teams were always out west.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like especially even in the playoffs. I mean, the only reason Toronto won a championship was because of Kawhi.
Heck, we didn't even say the Raptors. I don't even know where the Raptors end up this year.
Pascal Siakam needs to have a rebound year if they're going to be successful.
See, but is it really a rebound year?
No.
He was really good last year.
Yeah, he was.
I
He
shouldn't
just
say rebound
wasn't
year, I
great
suppose.
in the bubble.
I should say take the next step. I guess would be a better way of
Siakam
phrasing
He
that.
needs to step
needs to
elevating
become the
his game.
superstar of that team.
Correct.
Because Kyle Lowry's aging. Fred VanVleet signed an extension, so he's there for a while, which I was thoroughly surprised by.
Yeah, if I was
I
Fred
did not
VanVleet, I was
think
going to go out Miami.
they would re-sign him at all. I thought he would go somewhere else.
I
And
thought,
B-
I thought he'd go get his bag.
Yeah. And
Now,
B,
see,
that's a lot of money for Fred VanVleet.
do you
And
think,
he's been playing well. I'm not going to disagree
Maybe
with
he's
that at all.
guy. Maybe.
I'm gonna
He
say,
could be the next Kyle Lowry.
I'm gonna say,
He could be.
do you think Van Vliet is like the future of like at least like the guard group of that team?
right
I
now.
firmly believe
I'm gonna
He's
say, like-
just
right
going to slide
now.
right into Kyle Lowry's
I was
spot.
gonna say, yeah. Do you think Van Vliet is the future and Lowry's the past?
I wouldn't say that necessarily, but I would
Not
say that when the future does come, which I think will be sooner rather than later, it'll be Fred VanVleet that'll still be there, obviously, and Kyle Lowry will be somewhere else.
It'll be Van Vliet and Siakam and apparently OG Anunoby
Yeah, I just signed him too.
OG, yeah.
for
Raptors are
72.
in such a weird spot though, because they won their championship. That was their season to do it. They got it done. Good for them. And then the next year, they lost their best player, but still ended up as a contending team. Everybody was kind of like, "Oh,
Yeah,
wait,
that was wild.
you guys are still good."
Who's the 5 in Toronto?
That's a
It was
great
Serge Ibaka
question.
and Marc Gasol.
It's probably Aaron Baines and Chris Boucher.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And
Aaron
Baines
Baines
is
is
I
probably
think if they had a
starting,
5, then they're in a good spot because, like, obviously they have their forwards locked up. I think they have a Norman Powell starting at the 2 right now. So, good old Norman Powell might help them out there, but we'll see.
Is Norman Powell starting? Wouldn't it be Kyle Lowry and Fred VanVleet?
Yeah.
I thought Van Vliet still
Man,
came off the
OG
bench.
at
Fred
30.
VanVleet would just signed a huge contract to be coming off the bench.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Neil Gallinari's making a crap ton of money. He's coming off the bench in Atlanta, so
Yeah, that's
That's
true.
fair.
Atlanta,
Oh,
there's
look.
another team that we didn't even talk
Yeah.
about.
They could be
Atlanta,
at
if
year
they click by
7.
the end of the year, they could be a top 5.
Oh, yeah.
Trae Young,
easily.
Clint Capella, Rajon Rondo there to, I don't want to say, well, no, I do kind of want to say mentor Trae Young,
Absolutely.
teach him stuff.
Yeah.
Plus, they just brought in Bogdanovich, Gallinari.
Clint Capella,
Yeah,
he's still their
yeah,
center.
he's like-
Van Vliet
I
is starting
think
at the 2.
I enjoy watching Clint Capella solely because I don't want to say I'm a fan of true centers, but I enjoy watching them play.
It's nice to see a big guy pick and roll, throw the lob up to me, I'll go grab it, I'll go bully somebody, let me sit and work in the paint.
I'm sure I've discussed this on the podcast before, but two of my favorite players to watch, Nikola Vucevic, Yusuf Nurkic.
Oh yeah, we've talked about that.
Like I
Very
said,
true.
two fairly straight up centers. They're not going to shoot a whole lot from the
Wait a
outside.
minute. Jokic is not a straight up center.
I didn't say Jokic.
He said
I
Nurkic.
Vucevic.
You said Vucevic.
And
Okay.
Vucevic
Mine
and
is
Nurkic.
Yeah,
There's
Jokic.
too many itches, bro. I'm sorry.
Nah, you're
Yeah,
good.
there is.
But point being, they're not going to shoot a whole lot from the outside. They're going to be more down low, getting boards, getting the bully buckets,
In the
which is what I like to
2020s.
watch.
You could
I enjoy watching those kinds of guys in the league.
you could also put Drummond in that conversation too.
Andre Drummond can
Drummond's
shoot
been
though.
expanding his range.
Yeah, Drummond's been expanding now, but he's still that grit and grind guy.
I mean, 2020 machine. That's what he's known for.
Yeah.
That's what he's
I think
supposed
the
to be.
Cavs are in an interesting spot themselves, actually.
I would-
Because they need to trade Kevin Love, but they're also right in that window where they're like, maybe we could go back into contending just a little bit.
It's too
But
early.
we gotta
to
trade
tell.
Kevin Love.
Right now, it is too early to tell what the Cavs should do.
I
in my
think the
opinion.
Cavs need to identify who their starting three is going to be and go from there.
Hmm.
Because you have Okoro, KPJ, and Chetty. I think you need to just trade Chetty Osman, narrow it down. Can
I don't
KPJ
think
play the
I
four?
don't think you can get any value for Chetty Osman.
You wouldn't get a
No.
high return. You could get maybe a second round.
I'm
pick.
gonna say, or at least take the pick.
Me,
You can maybe just flip the pick.
I would
KPJ
trade-
doesn't play the four though, does he?
Not really. He's more of a straight up three.
I was gonna say, is he a three with a two secondary?
he's a
KPJ.
3-2.
Yeah, he's a 3-2.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need to flip Kevin Love and either get a high draft pick if they can somehow get one of those, or maybe get like a youngish power forward in return.
Kevin Love might be at the point where you got to give picks to get rid of him.
Yeah, I
not
know.
Get picks.
Yeah.
in return
Especially with his
for him.
contract, it's just
Yeah.
Kevin Love himself is his own weird scenario for the Cavs.
So, here's what I'm thinking for the Cavs. You ride him out till the trade deadline. If you're at a point of contending,
You keep him.
you get rid of him. If you're not contending, just ride his contract out. Just so be it. Wait till you get him off the books. Unless somebody comes with an offer
I'm saying
that is good for you.
part of the problem
that
there
helps
is teams like Portland now don't need a four because he was like
No, Portland
huge.
doesn't need that anymore.
I'm saying,
They've
yeah, he
filled
was-
all the spots that
I'm
they
saying he was like a huge like rumor to go to Portland. They don't
was
need
'cause
that
he wants to
now.
go home.
Yeah, they don't need him now.
And you can't blame the guy for wanting to go home.
No.
Play for his
absolutely
hometown team, the team he grew up rooting for.
Yeah.
What teams even
That's
need
why
a
all the
four?
Bulls fans are sitting there like, come on, Anthony, come on. And then he signed his max extension. They're all like, well, we'll get him when he's like 36.
Another, talking about Anthony Davis, just to flip the switch just a little bit. When Rudy Gobert signed his 205 for 5, he's making more money than Anthony Davis right now.
Really?
Yeah, 80
Why?
year one. Yeah. My
Why?
point. I don't know. I would like to know what went
'Cause
into.
that's what a couple depoys gets you.
Yeah.
He shut down the league one time.
I hate you.
Oh, Brady.
Brady.
What are your guys' thoughts on that? On Gobert's extension and just kind of the
41
spot
mil?
even the Jazz are at. We'll switch gears a little bit.
Brady.
I hate talking about this.
Well, you have
'Cause
to.
I know, but it's
Well,
it's literally the
It's
same
your
conversation.
team, so you're
I know, but it's
talking
just the
first.
problem is it's the same conversation every time. Literally every time I say we just need to go to forward and then we're fine because Derek Favors is not it, Royce O'Neal's not it, Bojan's not it.
Are you really fine because you just lost to the Timberwolves?
Yeah, that's
Listen
Are you
here. Listen here.
Like that's the
It's
bright
not
spot
my
in
it's not my
uh,
fault Josh Okogie locked up Donovan Mitchell. That's not my
did.
fault. I'm just looking at it from a fan's point of view.
They
It's
got
not
hurt
my
against
fault
the
Donovan
Lakers
Mitchell went
tonight.
6 for
It sucks.
26.
Yeah, it was ugly.
It was
Indeed.
game 2. They've got 70 more. I'll cut up some slack for now. I mean that happens. I mean, hey, even last year's
Does
Knicks
it?
got like double-digit wins. Hey, as long as they don't lose to the 07 Bobcats who had 9 wins, I don't care.
Well, unless you can invent a time machine, Brady, I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, thank you for that. I'm just explaining.
Well, you're welcome. But they lost to something mildly close in the Timberwolves. So.
Ouch. All right. Sure. Just 'cause your team's 3-0.
Ooh.
I'll have you know that
We
we
beat
beat
the
the
Sixers.
76ers
Hey,
today.
hey,
A Joel Embiid-less
Hey.
76ers.
Hey,
but
hey,
we also
hey.
lost by 40 to an AD-less Lakers team. So.
It's all fun and games till the Cavs go 3-69.
The main principle in sports that I discussed earlier. Any team can beat anybody on any given day.
Oh, I'm thoroughly aware
The
of that.
Cavs will not lose 69 consecutive games.
Oh, I know.
to me.
That'd be
the
really
one to break
funny.
it to you.
Well, no. You don't have to break it to me.
Especially since
I'm
they have to
completely
play
aware.
the Pistons 3 more times.
And
And we
they
get to
do-
play the Jazz
I mean,
twice, so
They
you
need to
know.
play the Jazz twice.
I
They
mean,
gotta play the Thunder twice.
I mean, I'd say they play the Knicks, but the Knicks just crapped on Milwaukee, so.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Milwaukee's not looking so hot, to tell you the truth.
I wish I watched that game because I want to see what really happened. I mean, all I saw was that the Knicks were flamethrowing from 3.
Oh,
They
absolutely.
shot over 50. It was like
16 for 27.
Yeah.
That would do it.
But it was a wild day in sports overall today. I mean, obviously, going back to the NFL, Browns lost to the Jets. But NBA,
That's the one seed.
Charlotte beat the Nets. The Knicks beat the Bucks.
Can we talk about Terry Rozier just absolutely posterizing Kevin Durant?
Oh,
I just felt that needed to be brought
Oh,
up.
absolutely.
I
That was
love
I
hilarious.
still need to watch a video of it. I haven't seen the video of it yet.
Oh, I thought Isaac
Terry Rozier is not a big guy, so it didn't even have to be Kevin Durant. Him dunking over anybody.
That's still a 6'11" man, 7-foot man.
Man, I wish it was DeAndre
Crazy
Jordan, though.
wingspan.
Gorilla arms.
I wish it was DeAndre Jordan. Not gonna lie to you. It'd be so much better.
Man, Terry Rozier would have ended up as a pancake on the ground.
Oh, Brady.
It would have been really funny.
The other day, I saw a video on Instagram where the Rockets were playing the Jazz last year.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
And there were fans talking trash to Russell Westbrook in the corner. They said, "Shoot a 3. Gobert is the best defender in the league." Well, one of the guys on the Rockets drove in and missed a layup, and Russ jumped up and got a putback dunk over him.
Nice.
I'm not even surprised at that happened. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I just thought I would bring that up.
Rudy Gobert, he can be great sometimes, but there are other days where he's just not completely there, and it's just kind of painful. And it's just all sorts of unfortunate. But, you know, everybody's gonna have days like that. I mean, wasn't Giannis, like, completely useless the other day?
Oh yeah, on Christmas.
He didn't do a lot on Christmas,
He couldn't
but
do a lot.
Chris Middleton hit or dropped 30-some
I was
points.
gonna say,
and-
yeah, so he really didn't need to.
He
but-
didn't
I mean,
have to
like,
be the
everybody
superstar.
has their own bad days.
People forget that Chris Middleton is an all-star.
Oh, absolutely.
He's perfectly capable of
Could you
dropping 30
imagine
points
Chris
a night.
Middleton on a team like...
The Thunder?
Well, okay,
Obviously,
yeah. But
but-
like, the Pacers, who have other options.
I mean,
like,
yeah.
if Chris Middleton played TJ Warren's spot, you've got Malcolm Brogdon to shoot, you've got Victor Oladipo to shoot, you've got Miles Turner to shoot, and you've got
Domantas
Sabonis
Sabonis.
in the post. Chris Middleton could go off in that lineup.
Oh, absolutely. Any given night, any of those 5 could absolutely go off. And
Because
I mean,
he walks
Sabonis
in
did it
and
tonight.
he walks in, he's option number 1 on that team.
Oh, for sure.
No, Sabonis? Not
I don't
Sabonis.
think we mentioned the Pacers earlier.
No, we
No,
did.
we
We
did.
did.
Well,
At
we
least-
talked
at
about
least
them
I
being
I
did.
a
said they were
borderline
always in
team.
the 8 seed. so-
I think that they'll make a jump to like the 5 seed. Well, they were the 5 seed last year, I think. Never mind then. I think they're going to stay in that general area solely because Domantas Sabonis they've only played 3 games. That does not define your season. But he's played well. And like I've told you guys off audio before, Domantas Sabonis could drop 50 points and nobody would talk about
Oh,
it.
that's absolutely true.
No one.
I
would
mean,
talk about
if
it.
you put him in LA or New York, everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, Domantas Sabonis! Wow,
Once this
he's
guy's here.
He's
look,
in
he's coming.
Indiana. He's in Indiana." So everyone's like, "Oh wow, the Pacers did something."
Smaller
You-
market team that
Have
doesn't get
fun
as
getting
much
blown
media
out by
exposure.
the Nets 4-0 in the playoffs. Oh, bye.
Yeah.
You also could throw Colin Sexton that because he had a 50-point game last year and no one talked about it.
No, this 50-point game was all over ESPN.
Was
Yeah,
it?
that's
it was on there a
true.
lot because the Cavs were winning a whole lot. So they're like, oh my gosh, they actually do
The Cavs did something.
But still,
It's a miracle.
Yeah, pretty much.
he's still a quiet player. Not a lot of people talk about though.
I mean, this year I think the Cavs are gonna get much more attention
The Cavs
as
are
long
so
as they
much
keep
deep.
Andre Drummond. Because if they get rid of Andre Drummond, they're gonna get a lot of attention for the wrong reason.
I mean, it could be for a good reason.
And I mean,
but most likely.
while we're talking
yeah.
about Drummond and trades, you know, the Pistons.
I don't know what the heck they were thinking when they traded him to
But-
us. We gave up
Stupid.
basically
Oh,
nothing.
I'm
Hey,
aware
for
of
a
that.
toothpick and a bag of chips,
But do
easy win.
you think
Yeah.
do you think the Pistons will trade Blake Griffin, or do you think they won't be able to find a taker?
I don't think they'll do it.
You know,
I think
I mean-
they'll want to keep him on because they're in a massive rebuild right now.
I think Blake Griffin, like a Blake Griffin trade's in the same point where a Kevin Love trade is. I mean, don't get me wrong.
That's a
There's
big contract.
1 year of Blake Griffin compared to 3 of Kevin Love, obviously. But it's still Blake Griffin. There's not a lot of teams that need a 4 right now. Because, like, the Pacers have Sabonis. The Sixers have Tobias Harris. the Nets have KD if he's playing the 4. So I think Karis LeVert's playing the 2 or 3. Well, I'm pretty sure KD's playing the 4 right now. The Celtics have Jason Tatum, right? Yeah.
He's playing the 4.
So I thought he was playing the 4. The Lakers, I mean, they have anybody and everybody playing the 4. It seems like could be Kyle Kuzma, could be AD, could even be LeBron for all we know. I mean, the Clippers have Paul George. Zach Collins, Melo, and Rocco are all split in time up in Portland. The Warriors have Draymond. I mean, there are a couple places that could probably use him, but they have to be good first.
I just want to talk about something really quick. When I say the word Melo, who do you guys think of?
Carmelo.
La.
Wow.
You think of La? Okay, Isaac?
Who do you hear more now?
Well, I mean, obviously
Carmelo.
now.
I know you want to think of Carmelo, but who you actually think of? If I said the words, Melo hit a 3, what team comes to mind?
Well, I mean, now that he's actually in the league, Charlotte.
I don't believe you.
I mean,
Really?
obviously,
I think you're both
obviously
right.
Charlotte now that he's in the league. But before this year, you said Melo. Everybody was like, oh yeah, Carmelo. But now there's 2.
The last 3 years, I have always thought of LaMelo Ball.
3 years, really?
Yeah.
My point of this, bringing that up, was going to be...
The Bulls have been the most famous family in the country when it comes to sports.
It's because LeVar literally talked his way into fame.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
I mean, the guy's a genius.
We're 4 guys sitting in a room talking for an hour every few nights. Why can't we talk ourselves into fame?
Dude, that guy, he's intelligent.
It's because we're not as annoying as
He
LeVar.
can talk his... Hey, he talked all 3 of his kids into the NBA at one point. I know Jello was only on a 10-day contract, but still, he got that.
I think that man
At the
probably
end of the day,
talked
he was
Lonzo
there.
into being a number 2 pick. I'm not gonna lie.
I know I've been super hard on Lonzo Ball in the past, but he has... I get we're still young in the season, but he really has kind of surprised me. In a way that his shooting has gotten so much better. He doesn't bring it all the way to the side like he used to. He's more fundamentally sound.
Yeah,
he's
he
already
takes
a good
himself
passer.
And he's a great defender, too.
Right, which I would not have thought of personally.
That's what he
with
should
Lonzo
base
Ball.
his game off of.
I mean, I think that entire team is going to be very interesting throughout the year. Seeing as Zion is quite literally the longest tenured Pelican, and he was a rookie last year. I mean, they have what? Steven Adams starting at the 5 now.
Steven Adams, Zion, Lonzo,
Brandon
Eric
Ingram
Bledsoe,
and
and
JJ Redick.
They also have Josh Hart.
Josh Hart comes off the bench.
Who's their backup center?
Jackson Hayes.
Jackson Hayes.
That's right. I couldn't remember.
Well,
For some reason, I can't remember if he's...
Zion usually moves to the 5. They
Yeah.
play a small ball lineup, but
Who's
And
And
Jackson
that man
comes
can
in.
absolutely handle almost any center in the league.
Oh, yeah.
Dude's a beast.
6'6", 280 or whatever.
Could you imagine if Zion ended up going to the Knicks? I think the Knicks would be in a completely different spot.
Well,
No, they wouldn't. They'd still be a rebuilding team.
yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I think Zion would make them more competitive than, Julius Randle. But it's okay.
High-profile player like Zion does indeed tend to have an effect on teams like that.
I mean, I'm thoroughly aware of that. That's usually how that goes. I mean, obviously, John's like Memphis from basement to a playoff team in
Memphis
a season.
still had pieces, though.
I
They
mean,
had
yeah.
guys like Jaren Jackson Jr. is the first guy I think of.
Part of the problem with Jaren
As a
Jackson Jr.
supporting
is
cast
like
member.
he's gonna be out for a while. So like this is the year Brandon Clark's got to make a statement, or at least part of the year. While Jaren Jackson Jr.'s out.
Right.
I think Memphis is also in an interesting spot because they've got.
Is every team in an interesting spot here?
I mean, every team
really
is
is.
always an interesting spot. Unless your name is the Lakers, Clippers, or Warriors, you're probably not. You're probably in an interesting
Well,
spot.
we could even make an
Really?
argument for the
Really? I
Clippers
was saying
being in
the
an
Clippers
interesting
aren't in an
spot, dude. They
interesting
lost by
spot.
51 points today.
I mean,
They
yeah.
just lost to a Porzingis-less...
I did not realize KP didn't play today.
Porzingis-less.
I didn't realize KP didn't play today. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie.
Do you think they're
I hadn't.
He's been out since the bubble.
I didn't realize he was still out.
got
I'm not gonna lie.
ripped
I did not realize he was still out. That's on me. That's
Didn't
on
he
me.
tear something
That's on
again?
me.
I think so. I don't remember what it was, but yeah.
I mean, yeah.
He's out for
I
an
guess the
extended
Clippers.
period of time.
I mean, I don't think the Clippers lose by 50 if Kawhi played, but it's because they played a back-to-back. So.
But is Kawhi Leonard going to score 50 points and make the complete difference?
Well, I mean, no.
Obviously,
you're not
well,
gonna
I
make a
shouldn't
complete
say
difference,
that,
but
I
they're
guess.
definitely not going to lose by 50 if Kawhi and Paul George are playing.
Defensively, Kawhi Leonard would have absolutely made a difference. In that game.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm coming from. I'm not talking offensively. I'm talking defensively.
But at the same time, though, 51 points is a lot of points to lose by.
To score 27 points...
In a half.
Like, our high school basketball team has scored 27 points in a half. For an NBA team to do that, I don't care what team you're playing against.
Oh, I mean, yeah,
you
I
should
know.
never score only 27 points. Like, 27 points at this point in NBA in 2020, that's low for a quarter. Like, 30 to 35 points is what teams are scoring in a quarter nowadays.
Yeah.
They score 27 and a half? Oh, come on.
Like I said, that's either bad offense, good defense, or a combination of both. I think it was just a solid combination of both. I don't know. The Clippers, they're just gonna have on days and off days, and I think those on days will be able to
That's why they weren't a
accomplish.
championship team last year, like everybody thought they were going to be.
Big
Because
facts.
you can't have on days and off days and be a championship team.
Yeah.
You have to always be on, and somebody has to step up
Yeah.
and make the winning plays, like we were talking about in the NFL earlier.
Oh,
If you are a high quality, one of the best teams, you have to find a way to win, whether you're winning or not.
that's another team we didn't even talk about. Was the Denver Nuggets. I think they had enough where they'll be interesting.
Well, us four were hanging out one night, right? And we were talking about, the historic success of our NBA teams. Isaac and I like the Cavs. Matt likes the Timberwolves.
We don't have any success.
Kevin Garnett.
That we did
That doesn't
we did
even
indeed
count.
discuss that.
Fair
They
enough.
wasted Kevin Garnett.
That's
Moving
very
on.
true. Fair enough. They also wasted Jimmy Butler.
And we got to the Jazz, and Isaac and I both said, "Well, at least we have a ring." Brady's response was, "What are you talking about? Stockton and Malone."
Lost to MJ.
I was
That's
gonna
how
say,
you know I didn't watch any
arguably
part of
the
the
two
last dance at
biggest
all.
victims of the MJ era.
The Cavs were too, by the way. Fun fact.
They were not bigger victims than Utah.
Oh,
no,
no
Utah
way.
was bigger.
It was
but
the
the
Knicks
Cavs.
and the Jazz.
Yep.
For
Yeah.
sure. And maybe the Rockets, but they ended up getting a chip out of that anyway.
Oh,
Yeah, they
that
ended up
reminds
winning.
me. Seeing as we're cutting this part out anyway, I actually saw a
Who
YouTube
says
video.
we're cutting this out? I think this is really great stuff.
Well, I thought you said we were cutting
Especially
out.
since
I
it
thought
craps on you.
you said we were cutting out since you talked about it already.
It's what we like to call
No, I
comedy,
think it's
Brady.
great.
It really spices up the podcast,
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that, Clay. Thank you. But I saw a
Gives the
YouTube
loyal
video
listeners something to laugh about on
That-
crap on Brady night.
that the
Dude,
19.
that's every night, and I love it.
I saw a video though that the 1994 MLB strike actually led to the Lakers dynasty because that's how they got Kobe and Shaq. I don't remember exactly how it all connected,
That
but
makes sense. Shaq was probably going to be a first baseman.
no! I remember
Are
how
you kidding me?
connected.
Shaq is a catcher all day, dude.
No, I remember how
Oh,
connected.
Too big.
No, I remember how
Shortstop.
connected now.
Yeah.
No, Michael.
Dude, that man
was-
on the mound, though. That dude's throwing gas.
Yeah.
Okay,
bro.
listen, Michael.
Shaq would have to use like a softball though, because his hand would be like this.
That's
around
true.
the
He
ball.
could
would,
probably
like,
use his pinky and his thumb to throw every single pitch. And I'm
Mike-
not talking about
Michael
tucking it all the way in his hand. I'm talking like barely pinching it.
Yeah. The same way he holds a basketball.
Yeah.
No, Michael Jordan was in the MLB, and when the 94 strike happened, he was like, "Oh, I'll just go back to basketball." And at that point, that was when Shaq and the Magic started to get really good. So they're like, "Oh, we can't win now that Jordan's back." So then they traded him, and then they traded him to LA. Or no, he signed with
trade
LA.
him. Yeah,
they
they
signed him
signed
with
him.
LA. That's right. Sorry, I'm thinking trade for Kobe because then they added Kobe from Charlotte.
Charlotte picked
Charlotte.
up 13.
Yeah, they signed Shaq away from the Magic, and then they traded for Kobe because Jordan came back. So the Magic were like, "Hey, we're just gonna stop. We're just not gonna sign him. We don't want to pay him that much because we're bad now. We can't win anyway." So quite literally, that led to the Lakers dynasty because Jordan came back, and the Magic were like, "Oh, we can't win now," and they gave up.
At the same time, though, the Magic still had guys like Horace Grant.
And they had Penny Hardaway. 'Cause I remember, didn't. Who drafted him? Because I think somebody
the
drafted
Magic
him.
drafted Penny Hardaway.
I thought somebody traded them Penny Hardaway.
Nope. They won the lottery that year. I read an Instagram post about
Oh
this.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, they won
They had
back-to-back
a
lotteries.
super
That's right.
low chance, and they ended up winning the lottery and
Yeah.
they picked Penny Hardaway.
Yeah, I remember that from the video now. Yeah, I remember that now. It's been a couple weeks since I watched that. That was big brain. I just have to find the video again.
Interesting little NBA history one there. I like that.
It's wild.
That's
was
the
pretty-
keys to the Mamba.
Speaking of which, let's go to our today's day in sports history.
Today, the Clippers were down 77 to 27 at halftime. 50 points. which is the most that a team has ever. Now, this is a quote unquote championship caliber Clippers team that was missing one player. And they were down at halftime by the biggest margin since the start of the shot clock era in 1954-55 season. That is not a championship team. Like, that alone, I know this is, game 3 for them.
Right.
But that alone makes me put them at, the 4 seed and not a chance to win the championship.
You still put them at the 4 seed after that? I'd put them at 5 or 6.
They're still
Your
good.
team lost to the Timberwolves.
I wasn't going to put my team ahead of them, don't worry!
Well, your team is predicted to be 4 or 5.
My team is probably going to be 7 or 8, if they even make it, honestly.
I just want my team to attempt to get 10.
I'm not going to lie to you, obviously, Lakers or Warriors, probably going to be up there. Nuggets will be up there.
The Warriors?
Are you kidding
Okay,
me?
if the Warriors manage to figure out how to shoot again.
Draymond Green said that this was a championship or bust season,
Right now?
and they lost their first 2 games by a combined 60 points.
Well, I mean, I don't know who let Draymond have a mic. That was their first issue.
Draymond Green mic'd up is hilarious, dude.
Yeah.
I was going to say, the man's got 3 rings to back it up. He can talk as much as he wants.
Yeah, fact.
Fair enough.
He might have
Fair
got carried,
enough.
but he still has 3 wins.
He was still a vital part of that championship
Draymond
squad.
Green
I mean,
was
yeah.
a deep boy conversation guy with
He
Andre
won it,
Iguodala.
did he not? No, he did
Andre
not. He did not end up winning
He
it.
won Finals MVP for a reason, dude.
I mean, yeah. Andre Iguodala just still makes me laugh every time.
He still plays for the Heat, right?
Correct.
Yeah, Stephen A. Smith just ruined any chance of me taking Andre Iguodala's name seriously. I'm not gonna lie to you. Literally ruined it for me. Because Curry or Iguodala, I'm taking Andre Iguodala.
I still remember hearing that for the first time and thinking, just why? Why? As a Cleveland fan, I've asked myself that question several times pertaining to sports. Why? Why? That was absolutely one of the moments that the word why popped into my head. Steph Curry is
How do
one
you
of the...
spell that? Wow.
W-H-A-A-A-A-A-A.
Why? Why?
I was going with infinite A's.
Speaking of Golden State, didn't Curry break a record today? Or
It wasn't a
close
record,
to?
it was a milestone.
Yeah.
He is 2500 3-pointer.
2500?
Yes. 2,500 players.
There you
In all
go.
technicalities,
2500.
that's the same thing. His 25th hundred. That's the...
It's
That actually works. It's not correct in any language,
No.
anywhere.
But it worked.
But you're not wrong.
I know I'm not wrong. That's why I said it.
No, it's not. You said it because it's
It's a fact.
1 o'clock in the morning. You don't
Yeah,
know what you're doing.
Okay, 2,500. That's too.
Anyway, moving on from that.
Yeah.
I had a surprise topic that I wanted to talk
dear
about,
Lord.
and I just wanted to hear your guys' opinions on it. My surprise topic to you guys is about the MLB. It's concerning the popularity of Major League Baseball.
What?
So, Major League Baseball has dropped in popularity over the last 10 years. Why? Here's my reasons. I think that the unwritten rules of baseball are holding back growth
No, I
and
agree.
popularity.
I'm with you.
Example?
Fernando Tatis Jr. hit a grand slam
Yeah,
on a
3-0
3-0
count.
pitch. People berated him in the media
Yeah, they lost their minds
for that.
Bro, home run pitch.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That ain't my problem.
How dare the player...
Oh,
Not allowing your players to showboat a little bit and have some fun is inhibiting growth. Because it's not as fun to watch.
I have something else on
Plain
that
and simple.
too.
It's not as fun to watch. The NFL relaxed their celebration rules, and I would argue that the NFL has made a little bit of a comeback.
Yeah, when they made it strict, everybody just took their fines anyways. They're like, screw you
Yeah.
guys.
Right. Now teams
Michael
can get
Thompson's
creative.
cell phone.
They can have whole teams involved. That's fun. That's something that you can truly enjoy
And they
while
have
watching
an
a football
award
game.
for it at the end of the season now.
That is true.
I do have something else though. One of the most critical people of Tatis was the Rangers manager because they were playing the Rangers when it happened, but the Rangers manager was actually a part of a 30-3 victory over the Orioles by the Rangers. So I'm not sure why the Rangers manager came at him like that because I feel like one of the unwritten rules is not to beat somebody by 27.
Man, if you're gonna dish it, you gotta be able to take it.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
big facts.
Thank you.
Pitchers can't be so thin-skinned to the point of where if a guy shows a little bit of emotion and has a little fun while running the bases, you get all bent out of shape, and that completely distracts from the whole game.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
That's inhibiting growth to baseball. So MLB, if somehow you find our podcast and you're listening, here's my advice. Stop criticizing players for showboating and having a little bit of fun. It makes the game more interesting, it makes the game more fun, and it makes it more watchable.
I don't even think MLB needs to find our podcast. I think all we need to do is have Trevor Bauer somehow magically find the podcast, go, oh yeah, this is intelligent, and then he'll just spray it all over Twitter.
So Trevor, if you're listening...
Oh, Trevor, listen here, bro.
Yo, Trevor!
No, I was playing a trivia game with my family yesterday, actually. And one of the questions was, it was put these 3 items in order, from most popular to least popular, television-wise. And it was basketball, football, baseball in the United States.
Football, basketball, baseball.
Yeah, that was the answer. And whoever was answering said football, baseball, basketball.
That's wrong.
And I said they were wrong. They got it wrong. And I said they were wrong because basketball's just launching up. It's getting more
for
popular
sure.
all
The
around
NBA.
the world. The NBA is going through the roof. Everybody's watching it. And baseball's been on this slow decline for years. I mean, literally centuries.
Oh yeah, I'm aware. Like,
It's just slowly been working its way down. Because, I mean, it was the top of the line sport.
It was.
Everybody watched baseball.
I mean,
Right.
Literally
listen
called
to
America's pastime.
I think part of the problem with baseball is like as time goes on, the younger generations get less and less patient. No one wants to sit there through a 3-hour game. That's why there's so many pace to play things.
Yep.
But here's my thing with that. I don't think people realize NFL games are also 3 hours.
There's just more action during it.
I mean,
Yeah.
but I mean, is there? I mean, it's honestly probably about the same.
Statistically, no, actually. Not NFL, the MLB actually has more action
Exactly.
than your average NFL
Exactly.
game.
People don't realize that.
But
There's a lot more physical.
Well, I mean, yeah,
it's
that's,
more
that's what,
I don't
I
want
think
to say
that's why
fun
people like
action,
football
but that's
more.
kind of what I mean.
Yeah.
It's more entertaining.
That's
It's obviously
humans
more.
are drawn
I mean,
to hitting people.
Indeed.
That's
I mean,
why
yeah,
boxing
it's-
was
I
one of
mean,
the
it's
most
obviously
popular
more
sports in the world
fast-paced
for a long
than-
time because everybody liked watching people get hit
Yeah.
and spending money on who they thought they were going to win.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
that-
I mean, it's like
that,
it's obviously more fast paced, but I mean, like a lot of the baseball fans, like these days are like 30, 40, and up because younger generations are like, hey, look, violence, and then they're hooked.
Another thing that the MLB struggles with is promoting their top players.
Oh, I'm aware of that. And they hired
What I
idiots
mean by
as
that,
commissioner, but-
I'm going to use the NFL as an example. The NFL promotes Patrick Mahomes as like a top-tier quarterback in the
I mean,
league.
he
Everybody
is.
knows that. I would be willing to bet that almost every single casual sports fan knows Patrick Mahomes is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Same thing with Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson.
Yes.
I would,
The
on
NBA
that
does
same
too.
note-
Etc. There's more.
correct.
I mean, yeah.
The same principle would apply to different positions as well. In the baseball world, however, I would argue that most casual sports fans do not truly appreciate the greatness of some of the players that are currently in Major League Baseball.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Mike Trout and Clayton Kershaw might be the only 2 players people actually know exist.
I probably cannot give you a ranking of my top 5 pitchers in the league.
I would agree.
I can give you my top 5 running backs. I can give you my top 5 quarterbacks. Basketball, I can give you my top 5 from any position, if I thought about it for a while. But I could not give you my top 5 pitchers without going online and doing a bunch of research.
I would agree.
Yeah.
The MLB
Very true.
needs to do a better job of promoting their good players. Guys like, I would say Bryce Harper is more well known solely because of his
I
personality.
mean, Bryce Harper gets out there because Bryce Harper is like in a lot more ads. Like you don't even you don't really even see Mike Trout.
Him
Well, I mean, yeah.
Clayton Kershaw, guys that
But, like-
they've chosen to.
Like when you think about it,
And that wasn't the MLB that was promoting them. That was themselves trying to build up their own image because the MLB has not done a good job with that.
like
But with what you said, a lot of the latest MLB commercials, like commercials for the MLB specifically that I've seen, have all been Fernando Tatis Jr.
yeah, let the kids play.
Based.
Tatis, Soto, Cunha,
Yeah.
Bellinger.
So they started doing that, which is great.
They just need to continue to do it more. Is what
Yeah.
basically my argument is they need to do a better job.
I mean,
Yeah.
here's
They're
where,
They're
here's
doing
where,
it a
They're on the
little
right
bit.
track. Get going.
here's where I'm at though with the MLB and advertising. The best player in the league and arguably probably one of the best players to ever play the game has I think he has one platform that he actually is majorly seen on, and it's an off-brand baseball game. He's not on MLB The Show. He's never been a cover athlete for MLB The Show. He doesn't do any commercials. Mike Trout is literally is just part of Come To Us 9 Innings. That's all he's part of. He's not on the cover of MLB The Show. Never has been. Never understood why. But
It's crazy, honestly.
I think if Mike Trout did more ads for the MLB would definitely shoot up there at least a little bit. Because when the best player in the league barely does anything, advertising or anything, it's kind of hard.
But to a certain extent, though, don't you think the league should be reaching out to him? Well, I'm not saying that they're not doing this, because obviously we don't really have any
Yeah,
inside
maybe
sources.
they are. Maybe he's like, no, I just want to keep my.
I was gonna say
play baseball.
Mike Trout's he's always been a very humble
totally
person.
Understand that too.
Yeah, I mean,
There's nothing
everybody
wrong with
has their
that.
own ways.
But at the same time, if the MLB as a league wants to gain more popularity, stuff like that needs to happen.
Well, this
Even guys like
generation's gonna do
Christian
that for him.
Yelich, I think, is one that comes to my mind.
He's a big one right
Yeah,
now.
Yelich and Bellinger
Christian
had a nice
Yelich
commercial
is
last
one of
year.
the best outfielders in baseball.
Yeah.
Do casual sports fans know who he plays for? Do they know how good he truly is? No. No. I would 100% make that argument.
Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely think the MLB needs to do a better job of reaching out to their more premier players. But I mean, this incoming generation of players,
And Christian, if you're somehow listening to this, you're one of my favorite players personally. So if you want to reach out to us,
it's
be
just
featured on the podcast.
It's a right fielder
we'd love
thing.
to have you. Thank
I
you.
won't talk to him.
He is a main crush on every right fielder ever. It's okay.
That is
Talk to a
untrue.
brewer.
What? Yeah, I
Listen
understand.
here, Matt. Listen here.
However,
Yeah, brewer. Sorry, Cardinals fan.
But no, I think if they did a better job of advertising, even the more potential well-known players like Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts is another one. Never been on the cover of MLB. Mookie Betts also barely gets any ad attention at all. I mean, I've seen Yelich and Bellinger, Tatis, Acuna, Juan Soto. It's probably about it. I'm not gonna lie. Because unless you throw a bat 18 feet in the air like Jose Bautista or Wilson Contreras, you get no attention. And it's wild.
I've got the solution to all of the MLB's problems.
What would that be, Matt?
Quick counts.
I
Put them in real life.
hate you so much right now.
Man, the guy walks
Quick
up to the plate.
Quick counts are so stupid.
Umpire looks at him and goes, guess what, bro? It's a 3-2 count. What?
I hate that so much. I hate quick counts.
I mean, it would add another
3-2.
Yeah.
it would add another element to the game, though. It would
No,
make-
I think it's dumb.
counts,
I think the
no.
pitch clock is dumb. I think the 3-batter minimum is dumb. I understand what the MLB is trying to do. They're trying to shorten up the game so people get more interested. But they're also making rules that make people less interested. The
I
3-batter
don't think
minimum
the
is
pitch clock is bad.
the three. I mean,
It gives them plenty of time.
I mean, yeah, the pitch clock is not that bad, but I mean, it's honestly about the same time in general anyway. But I mean, the 3-batter minimum is dumb. Personally, I think the universal DH will actually bring back fans though because it's more offense.
Nobody wants to watch pitchers hit.
I'm
sorry to all pitchers out there.
that's not necessarily true. Watching pitchers hit is sometimes really funny.
Hey, but
I
do you
would
be
realize
more
how
offense.
many pitchers that's going to knock out of the league?
0.
One.
Yeah.
That's a Bogart.
I was going to say, Brady, I would be willing to bet if you surveyed 100 people right now, 99% would say they would rather watch somebody hit a dinger
Oh, I'm aware of
than
that.
watch a pitcher bunt.
Yeah.
Well,
very true.
I'm aware of that. I mean,
Or even attempt to bunt.
Well,
Literally,
literally,
some of them are
you-
going to know what a dinger is.
I'm gonna say the only comical pitcher at bats are when they actually hit home runs. Those are freaking amazing, by the way.
Yeah,
but,
'cause nobody expects them to ever do
But I
anything.
mean,
Yeah.
watching. I mean, I understand 60-game sample, not that large, but the way the DH affected the National League this year was incredible. Obviously, Matt would know from watching Marcell Ozuna. Sucks at defense completely.
To say the least.
This man goes in and hit to Atlanta, becomes the DH, he plays his butt off. Like, it's insane. He played defense maybe 10 games, but he was the DH most of the time. And he had like 20 home runs in 60 games. He looked great. He skyrocketed his value. Because, I mean, you know, obviously, playing for the Cardinals, they watched him climb a wall for a ball that didn't even reach the warning track. So they're like, this guy's dumb. But, I mean, and for guys for like Nelson Cruz, who is like 40 and still hitting 30-plus home runs in a regular season, like, you take him from only being able to play with half the league, because we all know he's not going to be able to play defense anymore. You take him from only signing in the AL to signing anywhere. There are teams that could absolutely use Nelson Cruz, like the Reds, if they stopped deciding to rebuild. They would love Nelson Cruz. The Cardinals would probably love Nelson Cruz. They need another big bat in their lineup. I mean, the Padres would love Nelson Cruz, but they're evidently focused on adding pitching, like Blake Snell.
So we're going to go ahead and wrap up this episode of the Hot Take Sports Podcast, and we'll see y'all next time. Thank you for tuning in.